Now it's time to press buttons and talk with Manky and ProZD.
Okay, welcome to Phoenix Wright.
That's
But
not
he's not here.
what this is. This is Miles Edgeworth.
Mr. Edgeworth, are you going to next propose that a dead body can swim through a pipe?
You see, Mr. Prosecutor, our chase after this man is far from over. Gone, unfortunately. Agent Lang.
Why is he helping Mr. Alba out now?
He's not. He realized a flaw in my argument and is helping to move the logic along.
He's being so negative about it.
Haven't I proven like 1,000 times in this case that I'm on your side? In which case, I should return the favor and find an answer. And another thing, Mr. Cochin's body was found in his office in Babal. So what happened to his body after it was transported to the open-air stage? Tisku, tisku, tisku. Mr. Alba had an accomplice in Babal, remember? You mean Sheena, right? With her there, you can see how it was possible to move the body up to the office.
Objection! Are you seriously claiming that she swam through the connecting pipe with the body? He's right. Miss Sheena would drown if she did that. She's not a great swimmer.
It's hard to imagine that she swam through the connecting pipe.
It looks like your hypothesis about how the body was moved is still only half-baked. In the end, it's all just the befuddled musings of an accusatory man.
Why couldn't she have swam through it, though?
Was it that big? I don't know. I don't have any,
It's weird.
frame of reference for how big this thing was. Now then, I believe you should give up and allow me passage. I've missed my flight, so I need to go figure that out. Because from the start, there was no feasible method of transporting the body.
Maybe I can use my points to, I don't know. What?
It's gonna be a whole fucking thing, and they're not gonna be reasonable
They were
about it.
first class seats, too.
It's like 3 in the morning.
Mr. Prosecutor, recall Sheena's movements. What was happening in the embassy around the time Miss Sheena was in Babal?
Ooh, if only there was a way to get rid of the water in the pool.
I wonder when to get rid of the water. Aha, that's it.
Oh, they started a fire to empty the pool to... Okay, that's elaborate. Now I believe this time we really are done, right? If I say that 100 times...
Objection, shut up.
Oh,
Unfortunately for you, it's far from over, Mr. Alba.
I want to go home. You are a most persistent man. Are you saying that you've thought of a way to move the body through the water?
Move the body through the water? That is completely unrelated to how it was done.
Excuse me?
The reason I say that is because there wasn't any water there at the time. What do you mean there wasn't any water?
What is this, Super Mario 64? You can't change water levels.
Just what it sounds like Super Mario 64. Tonight's events made it possible to drain the water, allowing the body to be moved.
What's the fire?
Fire in the ball.
Yeah, there it is. Oh no.
Sheena started the fire! Tonight, the Yatagarasu set fire to a variety of locations in the Babalese embassy. In order to put the fires out, much of the reservoir's water was used. Of course, when the water was used, the reservoir's water level went down. If enough water was drained, the connecting pipe could be used to traverse the border.
Objection! So what? How is that related at all? The water level went down, the reservoirs were connected. Stop.
Hammer time!
Does any of this matter? You can't prove any of this. Oh, fuck.
Pretending to be ignorant won't work with me. We both know what kind of situation we're in right now. Even in a game or a cartoon, there comes a critical game-changing moment, or sakuga. A moment in which you hit a wall that you must overcome in order to beat the game.
You mean beats a cartoon? I haven't lost yet.
I have found the route you used to smuggle the body, and that route will lead to your defeat. Not so fast! Even if all the water was used by the firefighting effort, you still can't really call that a smuggling route. I know that. I should have figured that you would notice. Hey, Mr. Alba, how deep are those pools anyway?
Like a mile down? I'll have you know those pools are extremely deep. And there are no ladders or footholds along the walls either.
It would be difficult for Sheena to hold the body and climb up out of the pool. Ladders or footholds along the walls? There was no need for such things.
What do you mean?
If one were to use a certain something, they could go up or down in the pool at will. Oh, it looks like you've got an answer already. Well, what are you waiting for, Mr. Prosecutor? Enlighten us already. The way in which Miss Sheena and the body were able to rise up to ground level. If there was a way to control the water level, that could be the way the body was moved. This was used so that the body and Miss Sheena could move up and down in the pool.
What do we got?
Look at that. What's that?
The fountain spout?
This refills the water when the water level is too low.
She just sat in the pool and let the water carry her up? Curious.
Mr. Alba used the fountain spouts in a manner of speaking. He used the fountain spouts in a manner of speaking? How so? The water level in the pools can be controlled by opening and closing the spouts. Miss Sheena and the body were lifted upward by their buoyancy in water. The fire on the Bobolese side and the firefighting effort.
What if somebody looked down into the pool and just...
You know? Yeah.
I feel like...
These were set in motion all for the sake of smuggling Mr. Cochin's body.
What are you doing down there?
Nothing.
What's that body?
No one. It's a steel dead body.
Okay, see you later.
Shall I show you where the final destination of my train of logic leads? First, Mr. Alba closed the fountain spouts in advance in preparation of things to come. Here I am. It's like a little video game. Then he took the pushcart that was brought to the rose garden and pushed it along with the Iron Infant and Mr. Cochin's body into the pool. At this time, Miss Sheena was busy conveniently starting the first fire in Babal. She then made for the open-air stage's pool to wait for the firefighting effort to begin. We gotta go through this whole... When the firefighters used the water in that pool, the water level went down.
Okay.
And by the time the fire was put out, the pipe between the two pools was exposed.
When did she dry off? Like, when they... There's so many ways I feel like this wouldn't.
This is when she pushed the pushcart from Alabas into a ball. Once that was accomplished, Mr. Alba simply opened the fountain spouts once more.
Imagine them discussing this plan, like, are you... I have to get in the water and...
And then it's gonna go down. What if they don't use all the water? And the water level rose up to its original level along with Miss Sheena and the body. After that, Miss Sheena used the pushcart to carry the body up to the Secretariat's office. There's an elevator in the embassy after all. So you see, even with her small frame, she could have easily transported Mr. Cochin's body. And that wraps up my thorough, very thorough explanation of how the body was moved. By Miles Edgeworth.
Nice diagrams.
No! Well, ex-Ambassador Alba, what do you think?
Come on, man.
Not so untouchable with all your precious extraterritorial rights to protect you, are you?
I knew you could do it, Mr. Edgeworth, and such a great presentation. You're a master of PowerPoint. Way to fight back. Objection! You accuse me of moving the body across country lines. But when you get down to the nitty-gritty, you don't have what it takes to indict me. The nitty-gritty? What does the old man want now? Aren't we done already?
Proof, I believe, is what he seeks.
Yes, proof. Without any, who is to say whether or not any of that you said really happened? He wants proof? What are we going to do, Mr. Edgeworth? This has never happened before.
There is no need to worry. I've had all the proof we need all along.
Oh, cool.
The body wasn't the only thing to go through the pool's connecting pipe tonight. Just as Detective Gumshoe found the pushcart in the open-air stage area, so too did I find one other item there. And that piece of evidence is what will prove that the pools were the smuggling route. This was another thing that was smuggled over to Babal's open-air stage area. It's that wet thing.
Is it?
Yeah, that was wet.
Take
that!
And what exactly is this?
You have no idea, do you?
Some kind of little candy?
This, don't put it in your mouth. This little piece that I found on the Bobbleese side will be your undoing.
A guitar pick? Would you care to explain how that is going to do me in, as it were?
Much to your chagrin, perhaps. But this is not a guitar pick.
It could be. What?
This is something I found at the open-air stage, which was transported with the body. I naturally assumed that you would recognize it, since you took a photo with it after all. But since you don't, allow me to fill you in on what I found at this stage. What I found on at the stage actually belongs to you.
It's the knife.
It's the knife.
It's a little piece of knife.
Let us take a good look at the murder weapon that was used to kill Manny Cochin.
If you collect 5, you get a new knife.
On the handle of this knife, there is a beautifully blooming flower. However, it would appear that it's missing a single petal.
You shouldn't have made those detachable.
Now let's see what happens when we try to fit this pick in that open slot. Oh, it becomes the Master Sword.
It's a perfect fit, and it's glowing.
I assume that the petal must have fallen off of the flower during Mr. Cochin's murder. And then it was accidentally placed into the pushcart, along with Mr. Cochin's body.
Objection! Ugh. That's an interesting story, nothing more.
Objection! Oh, I assure you, it's more than just a story.
No, it's not.
Because for some odd reason, this flower petal was wet when I found it.
It was wet, you say?
Yes, and the only place it could have gotten wet from is the open-air stage's pool. Now I ask you, how did a part of the weapon which was smuggled into the theater wind up in the open-air stage area on the Bobbleese side of the embassy? I don't think I need to waste any words explaining this, as this petal explains it all for me. It proves that someone went from the Rose Gardens pool on through into Babal.
Impossible!
The people of Zhang 5 have been waiting to see you face to face, Mr. Alba. I'll tell everyone back home we'll be there soon. You should be happy.
Why?
Why? It's a little late to be asking that question. You should have known from the very beginning, when you took your first life. No matter how you may plot, or how you may try to cover it all up, you can never hide from your crime and what you've done. Because we're here to see to it that justice is served to people like you.
Objection! You can't call what you've given a perfect argument. Damn, got him with that one. You know, I don't think this guy is going to ever admit his wrongdoings, Mr. Edgeworth. Because he values himself above all else. People who can't be negotiated with, or people who refuse to admit when they've lost. I don't believe those kinds of people really exist, because everyone breaks eventually.
You're right. In that case, I have no choice but to use all of the evidence I have.
All at once?
Yes, I'll just throw it all. I'll use it all until he breaks under the weight of his crimes.
Autopsy, and a knife, and oh god.
Mr. Alba, I request that you testify once more. This really will be
one last try.
The end of the line.
Here I go.
TBC.
Did he make it out?
Wow. This is it. Oh no, this really will be the final battle. Oh, this part.
It's twisting the knife with that dialogue.
This really will be the very last chance possible.
This is really frustrating when you're like in college playing this and it's like late and you're like, I guess I'll just finish this game off before I go to bed.
Yeah, and then it's like, no.
Ugh. 3:33 a.m.
Mr. Alba, I request that you testify once more.
It's an angel number for you. As if there is anything else for me to testify about.
I still have yet to fully prove that it was Mr. Alba who murdered Mr. Cochin. Well, I would like to hear about your movements before the murder occurred. I wonder if you could tell us about what you did here at the Theatrum Neutralis?
Very well. I suppose I could tell you about that. Because all I did was watch the Steel Samurai stage show.
Elaborating on even that alone is good enough for me.
No way you're going to. All right, one more
The
time.
only way for me to place this man under arrest is to pinpoint the exact location of where the murder took place, for that is the key to this investigation.
Try not to bump into any... Ah, fuck. I always turn it back on so quick. Steel Samurai Show.
Okay, this music's playing, so I think we're almost done.
All right, so I can do this before I go to bed tonight for my exam tomorrow that I have. I watched from the last row. The stage was well lit, but it was dark out in the audience. I swear I was there in the audience, but it's hard to prove that, I suppose. I do remember the contents of the show very well, though. Is that proof enough for you? Those moving scenes were seared into this old man's heart. I'll never forget them. It's gonna be something with how Larry improvised the thing.
So you were in the theater proper watching the Steel Samurai stage show, were you?
Maybe we'll watch the Steel Samurai stage show next time.
I don't think we're gonna do that, so I don't promise them that.
I didn't promise, I just said maybe.
We're not going to, guys.
It's a potential outcome.
Don't get your hopes up.